Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for the great support that this channel is receiving. I want to thank all the subscribers. May God bless you. If you're watching our channel for the first time, I want to request you to subscribe and click the notification bell, and please give our videos likes so that YouTube can recommend them to other viewers. Now, Martha Karua is the running mate, or was the running mate to Azimio presidential candidate Raila Amolo Odinga. And before, during and after elections, she has remained very vocal, maintained that their victory was stolen from them. In fact, at some point, Martha threatened to go to Arusha in an international court of law to seek redress, to seek an interpretation that she feels was never done properly. And she says she disagreed with the Martha Koome and the team's judgment. Now, seems like she dropped that idea. Maybe someone from Azimio must have talked her out of the idea. But even after dropping the idea of going to Arusha, Martha has maintained that William Ruto is not her president. She recognizes Raila Odinga as her president. Recently, in an interview with Ian Wafula on BBC, Martha dropped a bombshell, and she said that the constitution and the law may recognize William Ruto as the president, but she, in her own capacity, will never accept that her conscience does not allow her to recognize William Ruto as the president.
A couple of months, obviously, after a very tightly contested election, have you finally accepted President William Ruto as the President of the Republic of Kenya?
The law accepts him, not me.
Now, this sentiment elicited a lot of reactions. The Kenya Kwanza team argues that Martha Karua is still living in denial that William Ruto won the elections fair and square, and that it is high time Martha moved on. But the Azimio fraternity are showering Martha Karua with the accolades. They are saying that Martha is a hero, and that the position she reiterated on BBC is the position of Azimio from the top leadership and all the supporters. But now the most interesting part of it is the position of the government. As a result of those sentiments that she made on BBC, there are a lot of lawsuits that have been thrown along her way. And some people feel that Martha should face the law. I wanted to submit to you, ladies and gentlemen, that it is not the first time in the history of Kenya that someone declines to recognize the authority of a sitting president. In fact, recently, even the Azimio leader himself said that their victory was stolen. And in fact, Raila adds that it was a complicated event that involved even the West, the IEBC and the judiciary. So if they want to reprimand Martha Karua, then they should even start with the Azimio leader. In fact, whatever Martha is saying is not an isolated case. Her position has been reiterated by many leaders. Recently, our former president Uhuru Kenyatta took a walk in town, and he met some hustlers who were begging him for money. And he told them that, as far as I'm concerned, you chose your leader. And he told them in no uncertain terms that his position is that his president is Raila Odinga. I've never had any lawsuits thrown against the former president or the former prime minister. In fact, I want to take you back in 2017, I think, when Babu Owino took oath in the name of Raila Odinga. And it brought some kind of controversy, but he did it. No one thought of prosecuting him.
I, Babu Owino, having been elected a member of the National Assembly, do swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people, Republic of Kenya, and Raila Amolo Odinga. That order.
Even in 2007, Ababu Namwamba swore in the name of Raila Odinga and refused to swear in the name of the late former president Mwai Kibaki. So this is not something that is isolated. And so I'm just wondering why someone wants to pick on Martha Karua. And I want to believe that there are several reasons why they want to, or they may prosecute Martha, the Iron Lady herself. And number one is because of the relationship between Martha Karua and William Ruto. If you've been following the history of this country, the relationship between Martha and William Ruto has not been very cordial. In fact, from way back in 2002, I think that was 2007, when Martha was the Minister of Constitutional Affairs and William Ruto was the Minister for Agriculture, they clashed. There was a time when there was some corruption cases leveled against William Ruto. And in fact, just watch this video and you'll understand where their sour relationship started.
Ufisadi ukitokea kwa ministry yako, hata kabla hatujajua kama wewe umehusika au hukuhusika. Ikiwa ni kitu kama ungekuwa na bidii ungegundua, basi ustaafu kwa sababu wewe ndiye mwenye kazi. Political responsibility.
I am prepared to carry my cross if the need arises. My mind is clear. My conscience is clear.
And I am thinking that it is the right time now for the team that is around the president to revenge because they are now in power. And that could be the reason why they want to prosecute her. You see, Martha is a very tough lady. At some point, she walked out of the former president, Daniel Toroitich arap Moi. Then no one could even attempt or even dream of walking away from the president. But she did it during those dark days, when we still had the one-party state, KANU chama cha baba na mama. But now things turn very fast, and Martha has found herself playing second fiddle to William Ruto, who is now the president. And maybe those who are around him are now trying to show her that they're in power. It happens. Whether they will succeed or not is something that we need to wait and see. The other thing that I think is happening here, ladies and gentlemen, is that they want to test whether the Azimio leaders are still glued together. Remember when they were campaigning, we had a whole team, people like Sabina Chege, Raila Odinga, Martha Karua. That whole team, the leaders who most of them never saw the light of day because Ruto, I think, swept Mount Kenya. So he wants to try and test whether these people are still together, because when you attempt to perhaps arrest Martha Karua or someone had to record a statement, they want to know and see how many leaders have accompanied her. If that whole team or 3/4 of that team accompanies Martha Karua when she's recording a statement or when they are going to court, then they will know that Azimio is still intact and they may go back to the drawing board. But if Martha Karua goes there alone and maybe accompanied by maybe James Orengo or one, then they will be very happy. They will know now Azimio has disintegrated. You know, the current government, and to be precise, William Ruto is preparing for 2027. And in doing that, he wants to understand the strategy of Azimio. Are they still together? Who is going to contest? Is it Martha Karua or Kalonzo? So they must try and rock the Azimio boat and see what is happening. So this is a test that is doing to try and understand whether the Azimio is still intact. I want to believe that the other thing that is being tested is the patience of Azimio supporters. I've always maintained that the luckiest president in the Kenyan history is William Ruto, simply because he inherited a system that was devoid of chaos. Mwai Kibaki in 2007 rose to power when people were fighting in the streets and tear gas thrown here and there, when the ODM supporters didn't agree with his victory, they were challenging his victory. In 2013 and 2017, the Ruto government came into power when the opponents were fighting on the streets. But William Ruto ascended to power in a very peaceful environment, maybe courtesy of the handshake. Maybe courtesy of the handshake, because the ODM supporters thought that they had the system. And so they were very peaceful up to the very, very last minute, and Raila told them not to go to the streets. And William Ruto thinks that they have moved on. But to be sure, they want to touch on a few people. Because they can't touch Raila, they want to try and touch Mother. When you touch Mother, you touch Uhuru Kenyatta, who is the chairman of Azimio, you touch Raila Odinga, you touch the supporters. So the reaction of the supporters will save Martha here. Because if they say, we have moved on, let Martha carry her own cross, then it is a game over. But if the supporters come out with guns blazing, just the other day I saw the Kisumu residents warning Miguna not to go to Kisumu and start insulting Raila. And they said that they are just quiet because they don't want chaos. But if they are provoked, the slightest provocation could lead to chaos. Those are not my words, but sentiments from Kisumu. So I think someone is trying to test the glue that is still holding the Azimio supporters together. Have they moved on? Can they still go to the street and demonstrate if you touch one of their leaders? And this is the reason why I think Martha Karua is being targeted. Because as I indicated earlier, ladies and gentlemen, her sentiments are not isolated. People have done it before. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, those are my thoughts. I would want to hear what you think. Let us have a conversation. This is our country. Let's see what you think. And until we do another video, thank you very much.